No, put that stuff over there. Yeah. Thanks. All right, I have to do this real quick. We live? Yes, we're live. I have my phone laying down. How you guys doing? Let me turn this down real quick. Okay, just turned it down a little bit. Anyway, welcome back. Okay. Welcome back. Okay, welcome back, you guys, to the VIP Advice. All right, let's get this real quick because um when you don't see I don't put no titles, I have to put the title later because I just get these this is like almost like a rant. But listen, the other day I had to go to the library, right? Went into the library, and so a lot of libraries they have artifacts, of the cultures, different cultures, like African or whatever, right? So I'm looking through the plexiglass case, and I'm looking at these quilts, right? And it said the title of the quilts was the Underground Railroad Quilt Codes. Huh. So I'm reading the Underground Railroad Quilt Codes. And so after I left the library that day, I went home and I started doing some research. And so literally, now I can sit here and tell you guys, oh yeah, let me tell y'all about this. And I did not know about this piece of information. I'm pretty sure there's other pieces out there that are going to be dropped in my lap that I don't know about as well. But but I was looking it up and researching the underground quilt codes because it was two underground railroads. Matter of fact, I don't think a lot of people know that. I just found that out was two of them. But making a long story short, they always talked about, they pushed to Harriet Tubman. Harriet Tubman was one of the leaders, was one of the formatted some things, and she got some folks together and everything to help with, this journey. Okay. They call it a journey. So with the quilt codes, they wrote the codes in the quilts for those who don't know. A lot of y'all may know. I don't know, but I know I didn't know. Okay. So I started looking up the quilt codes. So they would put a code in the quilt and sew it in there when it's time for them to start getting ready to go on this underground railroad journey, right? And it was so fascinating to me because they put each step of their journey, they had a code. Each step of the journey, they had a code in a quilt. That was either they painted on the barn or either they was hanging on a door. But I thought that was so fascinating and so smart. I mean, I just been literally just been engulfed in just looking this stuff up, right? So I took the liberty to write down some things. Hold on, give me a second. So like the monkey wrench, somebody was so in the quilt, the monkey wrench, right? And I'm gonna go back up there to the library and actually take some pictures of the quilt codes. I meant to do that, but I'm telling you, I was so engulfed and so fast, I just didn't even think about it. I was just like, huh? That's the first time I ever heard it. So the monkey wrench stands for it's time for them when they see that in a quilt, okay? Somebody may give it to them as a gift, you know what I mean, or whatever. But when they see that in the quilt, it says that it was time for them to gather their tools they needed for their journey. It was time for them to gather courage and awareness. I said, what? Really? Fascinating. Yeah, the monkey wrench. That's what it means. It's time for you to gather your courage and your awareness and gather your tools. And they mean physical tools, tools to defend yourself, it says. It says, because it's time to go north to freedom, right? It says you need tools to defend themselves, tools to determine their direction, and physical tools, which are shelter and when it was time. That's what when they seen this quilt, the monkey wrench in a quilt, because it was a code, they knew. Almost like a map. I mean, I just find it just so fascinating. Okay. Um, what else? And these quilts was given to conductors at the stations, at the train stations. These quilts was given to certain houses, certain because we had a lot of our white folks that helped in that journey as well. So they would have every step when they was on the run on the Underground Railroad. They had every step. So each code would lead them to another code or another quilt code, basically. Okay. I thought that was fascinating. So the barn quilts, they have barn quilts. When you see the barn quilt, it says this signifies that this area is safe, secure, and supplies are made available. Isn't that something? Okay. Which one is this one? These quilts were embedded with a kind of code that some by reading the shapes sewed into the design. Isn't that something? An enslaved person on the run could know the area's immediate dangers or even where to head next. Now that's funny. Now they didn't know how to read or write, but they knew how to dissect them codes. Almost the same because we have codes, software codes, and codes. I think for computers, yes, it's code to everything. I remember me talking about the codes. Okay, okay. So then we have another one, you guys. It's called the carpenter wheel, also said to have religious meaning, and also the master carpenter of people's lives. Carpenter's wheel quilt represent the settler need to be a jack of all trades and self-sufficient. Now that's funny that message was right there because it's so funny because I've been diving into some stuff that I don't even like as far as classes. So that's so strange that came up because it says you need to be a jack of all trades. Yes, you got to be a jack of all the trades, self-sufficient. So the carpenter's wheel quilt, if they seen that code or sewn in there, they know that this is a part they have to get ready because this is a part of the monkey wrench. So when you see the monkey wrench, then you go to the carpenter's wheel. That means that it's time for you got to be a jack of all trades. So you're gonna know how you have to know how to defend yourself. And also, I forgot which code was mentioned. And you're gonna need faith, courage, and awareness. Okay, so okay, I think it was the bear paw pattern may have helped slaves know they were on the right. Okay, so if they seen a bear paw sewn into the quilt, that lets them know that they were on the right track. Isn't that something? Okay, let them know they was on the right track. So the flying geese mean a quilt hung outside the door code for slaves is to follow the flying geese to Canada to freedom. They believed the direction for the arrows indicated where runaway slaves could find water, food, and shelter. Okay. So to say this, so some of you guys may be in, because we're all slaves. Okay. We're slaves. When you look back on the history that people went through, I'm not just talking about my black folks. I'm talking about my the Holocaust too. They went through some shit too. So, so you sometimes you need to watch things on other people's problems and pain so you can develop some type of compassion. A lot of people will tell you to stay away from that. A lot of people tell you to stay away from the news, what's going on in the news, because the enemy want to keep you self-focused at that point. If I can keep you self-focused, ain't nothing but hocus pocus. Because everything my father talks about is loving one another, thy neighbor, handing out, helping out, giving and receiving. You see, this is how you can get unstuck from your pain, and that's how you gain. Is having some compassion for somebody that you don't know. Okay. When you see somebody's child get raped or killed, that's having that compassion. But folks will tell you to stay away from that. You have to develop compassion because we all are one energy, just broken up in fragments. Okay. So listen, because I don't want to stay on too long, right? So we may have some folks that need to be, I'm going to say the monkey wrench energy is here. The monkey wrench. It is time for you to gather your tools for the journey. It's time for you to gather some courage. So for some people out there, it is time for you to gather your courage and awareness, it says. Yeah, I take that. He's telling me something. Yes, you're north to freedom because we're all slaves. It's time for you to unslave yourself. It's time for you to gather your tools, be determined, and know your direction. You need your physical tools. Uh-huh. Courage and awareness, you guys. Okay. That's exactly what it's time for. So let me hold on. Crossroads wagon wheel. Okay. Conductors and stations underground. Okay. Did I? Yeah. So anyway, I may end up doing something with this. To see what quilt code that some energies are in. I think that'll be fun and fascinating. I might. This be fun, but literally, I just found out about the Underground Railroad codes. So there's something in this. See, everything. Uh, Especially when you come across things you didn't know, like this right here. I typically don't believe in. I don't really believe in stuff like. I believe in being led to certain things because of the thoughts that I have because I know what I'm vibrating with. You understand? So I know what's going to vibrate with me. You understand? So I'm a seeker anyway. So I've been seeking certain things. So when this happens, sometimes Father give you certain things to look at, but there's something to the Underground Railroad quilt codes. They don't push that. They don't talk about that a lot. That should be so woven in Harriet Tubman's story to the point where, we all should know about it like we know about Harriet Tubman. You know what I mean? And the things she did. But like I said, a lot of people went through it. The Holocaust, I watched the story on that, and I've seen it plenty of times before, but it's just, But anyway, you guys, I just want to share that with you guys, and I got to go. And you guys have a great day. All right. And yeah, fascinating. Very fascinating. Bye. Okay, I can't. I gotta get a new phone.